okay, so you take this one store, you're doing, 20x what most people are doing out of a single store, and you decide, hey, we want to expand this. So you go and start opening more, buying more. Like, how do you go and take it from where you were to where you are today?
I only recently discovered what entrepreneurship through acquisition, or ETA, is. I know it's a whole big thing that I was behind on, apparently. I didn't know you could like go and buy a business. So we expanded, but we opened these things up from scratch. Now we are looking at acquisition, and I'm sure we'll get into it, but we decided to franchise, and a lot of the folks that are coming in are acquiring an existing flower shop and converting it to putting our engine in, the French Florist engine.
So, because I know you'd mentioned you're doing the franchises, so you're saying a lot of the franchisees are people who are coming in and buying a florist and then saying, "Well, I'm just going to take this operating system that exists." That's interesting.
Most of them are on this train of thought. We actually launched the program and said there are good florists out there. I might even say there's some great florists out there. They just need help. And on the infrastructure, on the boring stuff, right? The marketing, the accounting, the financials, all that crap. Not crap, but the boring stuff.
The necessary evils.
Yeah, totally. And if we give them all of that, they can focus on what we feel like is the fun stuff, the client experience, making sure that they're operating like a great business. We have had a really hard time convincing existing florists to join our program because they have been operating their business for a really long time. They're very emotionally tied in. They don't want to feel like they are selling a part of their identity. They don't feel like this or that. It's not like it's a lot of feelings. And we understand that. When we launched a franchise program, we were like, wow, we can convert florists and change our industry by like grouping a bunch of amazing florists together, joining forces. Cause it's a really cool thing in my opinion and this is kind of goes to why we decided to franchise it. Like we opened a bunch of corporate stores. We pitched Maveron Capital based in Seattle. It's Howard Schultz, Starbucks, the big backed venture capital firm. They said, we'd love to entertain the idea of investing, but only if you do corporate expansion. They also gave us some really gnarly terms that we didn't like, but basically we're like, nah, we're good. So we wanted to do franchise expansion. We like that there's the local owner feel to our industry. I think that's a special thing, and it might seem like a small difference, but I don't think it is for our industry. I also think that if you could, you can hire 300 managers to run 300 corporate locations across America, but like, I don't know, if you have an owner there, again, seemingly small difference, but the manager might be making 80 or 90K. The owner of that store is probably making a heck of a lot more than that. And like, who's going to care more? And if our job as the franchisor now becomes selecting the right partners, that again, like it's almost like we can hire somebody. Technically, like to say it how it is, you can fire that person if it doesn't work out. You can't really fire a franchise owner. So we date for a little while. And then it's a 10-year franchise agreement that often most of the time gets renewed for like way longer than that. That's like longer than most marriages last, right? We need to make sure we're doing our job picking the right franchise owners as well as, them vetting us.
So that's where you're investing now from a scale perspective. It's all going behind this franchise model.
Yeah, exactly. And the reason for that is, I've already touched on a couple, a final for why franchise. We have learned time and time again that 1 + 1 is greater than 2. When we bring the right person to the organization, they bring insights and knowledge and expertise and additional thought leadership that helps propel our brand to further heights. Joining forces has been amazing for our organization. We have franchise owners that are operating today, and really happy to say that the thought leadership that they're bringing to the table as well. Now we own and operate our corporate locations. So like we do have corporate locations that we own and operate. We are florists. That's where we come from. We will always operate those locations. Might even open up a couple more. All of the territory is exclusive though. So there's no competition into the system. But like bringing these other franchise owners into the system, like now we're one of the owners and we have a bunch of other really great owners, and we all get to collectively put our ideas on the table and run in a more meritocratic way where like the best ideas bubble to the top, and those are the ones that we get to execute. So there's a lot of cool stuff. Like I have a negative connotation with the word franchise. I think there are very, very few great franchise systems out there. There are a couple. So similar to how we've approached the floral industry, I would say we're trying to push a little bit on the franchise side to create a model that's more than incrementally better than a lot of the existing models.